Hello everyone, it's Mark, and today, to celebrate New Year's 2022, I wanted to tell some stories in this special video I'm making today. So this first story I'm going to be telling is about this anti-bullying program we have in my current school. It's called Second Step. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of it or actually had the displeasure of performing it before. What it is, it's like this anti-bullying program the school does where they give you a packet at the start of the year, and over the course of the year, of the school year, they put on a slideshow and have you answer questions in the packet with the help of the slideshow and your teacher. So one day we are doing it, right? Doing it, everything is fine, and let me get the actual packet out really quick so I can give you a more accurate depiction. The lesson was called Who Am I? My Identity. And on the screen for the PowerPoint presentation, the teacher had up a picture of this thing called a mind map. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's basically just a bunch of thought bubbles with someone's interests written in all the little bubbles. And they're using an example on the screen of someone named Alec. My teacher was listing off the interests that were written in the little thought bubbles. It was your average, teenager stuff like playing guitar, spending time with friends and family, that kind of generic stuff. And then it got to a point where it said the teacher's reading the stuff on the board, and it said Alex likes to write stuff on Wattpad. Okay, so if you, fortunately, my friend, don't know the type of content that's on Wattpad, well, I'll allow me to give you a quick reminder. The teacher said, "What's Wattpad? I don't know what that is." And just the little group close to me just was whispering to each other, basically saying stuff like, "Oh, did it really just say that? I think it did. Oh my goodness." And then I told the kid behind me, who is a friend of mine, for the sake of his privacy, I'm gonna call him Xavier. So I look behind me to Xavier and I say, "Hey, did they really just say Wattpad?" And he said, "Yeah, I think they did." And I said, "Do you know what it is?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's that weird website where people write their weird stories, right?" And then the kid next to me said, and then the kid next to me, for the sake of his privacy, mm, I'm gonna call him Adrian. Yeah, that's a good name. Adrian said, "What's Wattpad? I don't know what that is." And I guess he hadn't heard us because we had to explain to him, and we had to explain to him why he shouldn't go on there. And his face was indescribable, to say the least. It showed quite the amount of terror at what we were explaining. So allow me to elaborate a bit on the procedures for Second Step in my school. So basically, nobody likes Second Step. Not even the teachers like it. We haven't done it in a while in school. And it's gotten to the point where teachers really only use it as a punishment for annoying kids than a legit anti-bullying thing, because the thing is just, I don't know, it's just so weird in the scenarios it makes up. It's like, oh, Drew is bullying Kirk. He is punching him and stealing his money. Should Kirk A, light the coat room on fire? B, I don't know, plant a bomb in the school? Or C, tell the counselor about it? That's why no one takes it seriously, really. So, yeah. That's another one of the huge reasons why Second Step isn't really respected. It's because the authors don't do their research when they actually write it that much. They don't research to see how kids really act. They just pay some guy on Fiverr to do a quick quote unquote study saying 9 out of 10 schools that use Second Step have reduced bullying rates, stuff like that. They have that stupid garble plastered all over their website. And yeah, that's basically Second Step. I don't really have a name for this story, but oh well. So this next one, it's another one about school, but this one takes place in the same school where the lockdown story took place. It's about crappy teachers. So this first one is when I was in third grade. In our elementary school, we have this thing called targeted reading. I don't remember what the last thing is. Oh, targeted reading instructions, TRI for short. Basically just a thing to help kids learn their vocabulary better and stuff. And when I was in third grade, about the same grade when the lockdown story took place, my TRI teacher was this lady, right? And we were reading a book called Esperanza Rising. I remember very specifically. It's about a girl who lives in Mexico who moves to America, I think that's what it was about. And in the first chapter, the main protagonist walks into the garden where her father is cutting some of the plants with a knife, and I believe the line that was in the book says, "Dad's knife was as sharp as a scythe and made of stone." And then we were reading together in class, right? And the teacher was reading the lines from the book. And when she got to that line where it says scythe, she adjusted her glasses and looked down at the paper like really closely, and she's like, "Sakith? Sith? What? What does that say?" And I told her it's scythe. Like I just kind of shouted it out, and she started to look at me really slowly, like turn her head really slowly, with just this 1,000-yard stare on her face, and she's like, "It's pronounced scythe, huh?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's what it's pronounced." And she's like, "Oh, what's a scythe, anyways?" And I told her, "Oh, it's a farming tool that's used to cut wheat and stuff." And she says, "Really?" And I say, "Yeah." And then she Googles it like I would try and trick her to thinking a scythe was something it wasn't. I don't know, but yeah, that's the level of education we were getting at that school, where the teacher doesn't even know what a freaking scythe is, and the student has to tell her. Now, this isn't the only subpar teacher I've had, to say the least. In fourth grade, I had this one teacher. She was only in the district for a single year, and she packed up and left after that one year. That's how I'm gonna try and be as lenient as possible. That's how subpar and abhorrent she was, that she could only stay for 1 year and then she just packed up and left because of all the complaints. So she was rude, but to protect her privacy, I'm just gonna call her. I don't know what's the mean teacher sounding name. I'm not gonna call her Dorothy. So yeah, Mrs. Dorothy, right? She was this teacher who was very condescending when you got in trouble. She would always be very guilt trippy when you got in trouble. Because I remember I flipped off this one kid one time because he called me slow. And then I flipped him off, and he went and he told the PE teacher, because we were out at PE playing around with basketballs or something at that time. And then the PE teacher, of course, reported it to Mrs. Dorothy, right? And and then she said, "Oh, Mark, honey, please, I need to have a chat with you." And in Miss Dorothy's class, it was just widely known that if she ever had to chat with you, you were dead. Like, you just absolutely messed up. You might as well just tie a blindfold around your eyes that moment, because you're about to get shot like a Civil War deserter. And then she was like, "Did you flip off?" I don't know what to call him. I'm gonna call him David. Did you did you give the middle finger to David? And I was like, uh, yeah, 'cause he called me slow. And she's like, "Well, two wrongs don't make a right, sweetie. That's really mean of you. I'm going to have to give you a referral." And this was another one of them. This was the number one reason why she was hated so much, is that she was very trigger happy in giving people punishment for really minor infractions. Like, I believe one time this kid said "dang," and he got sent up to the principal's office. Yeah, she kind of had a power fantasy. So, yeah, that's really all the crappy teachers I've ever had. And that's really all the time I have today for stories. I just want to wrap this up by saying thank you to y'all for making 2021 such a great year for the channel. Thanks for allowing me to hit 1,000 views on Memories in the Mist. I couldn't have done it without you all. But yeah, I'm not gonna get too sentimental with this. I just want to say thank you. So yeah, see you later and have a happy new year. Peace.